why pick a zombie theme? What does that have to do with national parks? And I, thought of it as it's a current pop culture thing, and it's a great way to get people behind universal concepts we talk about in interpretation. What can everybody really grasp onto? And I thought, fear, that's a good one. Self-preservation is another concept we can all abide by and grasp. And why not zombies? They're unlike any werewolves or sparkly vampires. Zombies come to you. You have to run away. You can stay out of a forest to avoid werewolves or sparkly vampires out on the Olympic Peninsula. If you don't know what I'm referring to, there's the whole Twilight series, which of vampires and werewolves, which takes place in Forks, Washington, over in the Olympic Peninsula. And last season they were doing a program on werewolves in the park to talk about the tribal culture that's in the books. There are no known zombie cultures here. This isn't the Caribbean. You guys can look up more information on zombies in the Caribbean on your own time. But the North Cascades is one of the most remote national parks, especially in the state of Washington, meaning our back country. We have over 94% of this park is designated wilderness, and that's a good thing. When you want to, escape this, over 600,000 people live in Seattle, and about 3.5 million roughly live in the Seattle, Bellevue, and Tacoma areas. That's a lot of people that, if you're worried about something like a zombie apocalypse, you want to reduce your population density. That means running away from the most amount of people in a concentrated area. And this park, that one always gets me about that. Population 0. So how many of you guys have taken the Cascade Loop before? It's a beautiful, beautiful drive. Great way to see the state. I don't recommend doing it if you have a 6-month pregnant wife and you decide to do it in a day. I did that last season, and that was a really bad day for me. Yeah, it's like, oh no, it's a quick drive, babe. It's beautiful. No, don't do that. Trust me. It's good to take a break somewhere along the way. But this is a beautiful drive. However, when you're worried about being attacked by zombies, there's several routes you want to rethink where you drive and what you're doing. And taking a day trip, is not one of them. Oh, let me backtrack here a bit. I think it just jumped to a weird. See, I told you something odd would happen. Let's see. I think I reversed the way that it advances. Anyway, so here's a map of Washington with kind of the major routes throughout it. You've got 90, Highway 2, and 20. And then, 82 and 430. So what I focus on is looking at the areas where more people are going to flock to. What's the most obvious route that you think people would take? Anybody? Shout. Yeah, 90. So if there is a major disaster like an earthquake or Mount Rainier exploding or zombies chasing to eat you, are you going to want to go on 90 and wait in the buffet? They're just waiting there for you, and you don't want to be sitting in traffic. It's sitting duck, if you will. Highway 2 is the same. It's one of the more traveled passes out of these 3. And there's only one lane. Now there is a great place to get cappuccino on there. It's called the Bigfoot Espresso and Index. It's incidentally, that's where Harry and the Hendersons was filmed. So that's pretty cool. I recommend traveling on 2 out there. But I have ADD, sorry. But so Highway 2, I think, is out of the question as well, as well as 90. So I say Highway 20 is one of the least traveled passes in Washington State, and it's one of the least traveled roads, actually. It picks up for obvious reasons in the summer, because in the winter it's actually closed. But it's still a great place to escape to if you need to get out. And there's multiple routes. The quickest route to get out of Seattle and up here is actually going from here, connecting over to Highway 9. If I-5 is jammed right here, you would want to take 9 to 530 that goes through Darrington, which is a beautiful drive as well. It's really great to relax yourself while you're terrified and running for your life. And then it connects back to 20 and comes up here. If you thought about taking 5 to Canada, who would think about doing that? Raise your hand. Yeah, no, the Maple Leaf Iron Curtain will be slamming shut on Z-Day. You won't be able to get into Canada. It's already a nightmare on a Saturday if you've ever tried to get up there, on the weekend. You're not sneaking into the Canadian border. They don't want our germs. Certainly not zombie germs. But there's plenty of routes to sneak into Canada through the national park, through the North Cascades. And we'll be going to that shortly. So you are now, technically, you're in the Ross Lake National Recreation Area in the North Cascades National Park Service Complex. That's a mouthful sign. But this whole area all along Highway 20 is technically the Ross Lake National Recreation Area. So in order to get out of there and get into our backcountry and our wilderness areas and the proper park boundaries, you have to leave the road. And that's what we're going to be exploring tonight. And one of the reasons you want to do that now, before the zombie apocalypse, is because zombies don't camp. In all of my research, I have found confirmed report after report that there have never been any reports of camping zombies. So that's really good for us who still have a pulse and aren't craving brains. Hopefully your neighbor is doing the same and not craving brains. So how many of you guys got to see this lake today? You're actually camped right next to it, believe it or not. This is one of the most glacially fed lakes in America, and the river coming down here, Thunder Creek, is actually the most heavily glaciated river in the lower 48 states. It's really hard to compete with Alaska. But the trail right behind you actually is one of the best escape routes in the park. How many of you guys took Thunder Creek Trail today? Walked it? It's gorgeous, and it's old growth forest. It's relatively flat for about 7 miles straight into it. It's another great way to explore the park and get in. It's kind of a express lane, if you will, into our backcountry areas to escape. So being around here, if you have a water filter, the hydroelectric project in Diablo Lake here is one of the best resources, that you could escape to. We've got hydroelectric, which is constantly renewing itself due to the snow melt and glaciers. So if they were to power down Seattle, they could keep power on here. Perfect. And if you ever needed to let loose a bunch of water to blast zombies further downriver, you've got that option if you're up here.